Hello everyone, I'm Casper Kuma and welcome to the Choose Wisely Festival. If you don't know what that is, it is a festival centered around games with branching narratives, and today we're going to be playing Decade. We're gonna see how much we can do. I think this game has like 20 endings or something, and we're obviously not gonna do all of them. All these games have like so many endings, so we're gonna try to get as far as we can with a lot of them. The world has ended. A metallic rain has pounded all life on Earth into a silvery black pulp. You were raised in a facility designed to protect against the rains. 5 years ago, when even these facilities deteriorated, you left along with thousands of other children to try and find some way of surviving. You were 12. The rain slaughtered them. They slaughtered each other, but you and 3 younger children that you managed to protect found this place. A sophisticated bunker built deep into the side of a mountain, which draws water from deep underground. Able to synthesize food from its algae. It won't last forever, but has kept you all alive these past 5 years. You spent that time learning about that strange machine contained within this bunker. A machine that allows you to send someone into the past and retrieve them after they've spent 10 years there. Now is the time to use it. Yeah, this game is like about time travel and stuff, so I'm excited to see how horribly this is about to go, because time travel never works out for anybody. Where are we? Now, the end, and the unknown. We got Mons, Jag, and Ola. Age 8, we're gonna send 8. Oh yeah, I guess it did say we're children. Who should we send in the past? Let's go with the youngest. Let's make the youngest struggle. Click on a character to close this chat window. You can pick up where you left off in the conversation at any time. Each character has their own personality, but will be dramatically affected as they age by the periods they visit, as well as the things that you say to them. I'm ready. Hello, Mons. Will I be going first? Do you understand what's going to be happening? I might send you first. Do you understand what's going to happen? He's 8! I can't believe this. He looks... Or is it a she? I can't really tell. They look pretty old for an 8-year-old. Do you understand what's going to happen? We're going to make the world better so we can leave this bunker and everything will be great. Will I get a tattoo? This is... I don't know, kid. I don't know if you're ready for this. Yes, just before you go, do you remember why? So we don't forget how to come back. It's coordinates and the time to be there, but I won't forget. I know you won't, Mons, but just to be sure, 10 years is a long time. I guess. I don't know if Mons is truly grasping the situation. They're 8. Are they really going to be able to remember coordinates? I don't trust it. Let's look at Jag. Okay. Hey, Jag. Good morning, loser. Oh, we're sending you first. I'm not a loser. You're a loser. No. Now this is a child. Yes, you're the losiest loser who ever lost. You're a big loser. The biggest loser since losers began. You're the ultimate loser, the alpha and omega of losers. With you, loserdom has reached its zenith. That's not a word, loser. You're the biggest loser. You're such a big loser, the world ended. Haha. Okay, you win. No, we're not letting them win. So what's the news? Mons tried to climb the bookshelf this morning and fell down. Oh, it is girl. Is she okay? Ola put a plaster on her and I told her not to do it again, but she wanted to, but I didn't let her. Do you remember what today is, Jag? Beans Day, yeah! I don't know. Well, I guess Jag's only 9. I don't know. He seems younger than Mons, but maybe he's just immature. Mons is a little too mature, to be honest, with all this talk about coordinates. You're 8. Just talk about your favorite, I don't know, bean. No, it's the day the 3 of you start going into the machine. Can we have beans now? Maybe when you come back out. Maybe, if you're lucky, I'll give you a bean. I'm being serious with you, Jag. It's gonna be tough. No, you'll go into the machine and come out a completely different place. That's right. Are they gonna be able to come back? They're really, they're like elementary school kids. I don't know if this is a great idea. I'm being serious with you, Jag. It's gonna get tough. I know. I don't think you do. Let's talk to Ola. Or Ula. Hey, Ula. Morning. How you feeling? Fine. What are you thinking about? Nothing. Are you afraid? No. You'll experience things no human ever has, Ula. You'll see and do incredible things. Don't worry, you're more than capable. You're the oldest, Ulla. You have to stay strong for Mons and Jag. They need you. Ulla, things will become absurd for all of us, but no matter what, we must stick together. Remember, I love you. Don't worry, you're more than capable. You got this, kid. You're 11. You're like Pokemon trainer age. You're more than capable. Ulla gained curious trait. Oh, have I been gaining traits the whole time? I haven't been looking up in that corner. Alright, so how do I send these children to their doom? Sending somebody to the past inevitably changes the present, but if you can retrieve enough information on such things as astral events, sonic parameters, and environmental idiosyncrasies, you can send a person back safely while ensuring your own current existence. You know, I don't know about that. Like, isn't it like the butterfly effect, you know? Won't changing anything change everything? Alright, which child do we want to chuck into the 462? Let's see what happens to Jag. I don't like him very much. We'll see what happens to him if bad things happen. Although, do I really want to put my trust in Jag to not poof me out of existence? Maybe I should send Ulla. Yeah, I don't know. If I send Jag back, he might not be, like, competent enough to explain what's happened. Let's send Ulla. She's the oldest. She's lived to 11 years old. That's a long life, right? Goodbye. See ya. Oh, what happened to her? Did she age? 21? Wow. I can't stop crying. Oh, I'm sorry. Take your time. This place seems so much smaller than I remember it. Darker. Tell me about the past you came from. This may seem incredible to you, but there were no rains. Well, not always. And when there was rain, it wasn't toxic at all. Even so, it was a very dangerous time. Why? There was no fear of death. People were violent and impulsive. Go on. It was a strange time. People roamed, scavenging the remnants of cities and civilization, hunting the few animals that existed. There was no universal communication system beyond radio. They lived lives of private endeavor, seeking only to make themselves stronger, strong enough to kill and dominate in the conflicts which arose whenever they came across another. People killed for resources, for territory, but a lot of the time just because they saw it as a virtue. They called this way of thinking vtuberism. What is this poetry you bought? Get out of here with your poetry. Stop speaking in tongues. Bring me back some real stuff. How did you survive? Killing is a virtue? How'd you survive? Did you kill somebody? I was taken in by a small family. They protected me for a few years. Men seemed willing to protect me. After that I was alone, but I stayed away from the others, in the forest mostly. Didn't people band together? Sometimes people acted together sometimes, but only temporarily. Community was seen as weak, shameful. Even family was seen as dubious, a mere consequence of sex. What is this poetry you brought? Killing is a virtue. Yeah, it's sort of a natural law. It's hard to explain. Like, it's like a religion. What is this poetry you brought? It's an expression of the ideals of vtuberism. I thought it might help us understand it. What do you think about vtuberism? It was without a doubt why the world ended up like it has. It had its own concepts of beauty, but nothing beyond them. Its own concept of morality, and nothing beyond that. It was such a singular and dominant idea that it could only end this way. What about the variables we need to travel to an earlier period? I couldn't find any, I'm sorry. I think they might exist, but and there seemed to be places that contain a lot of old stuff. Information, but they were too dangerous for me. Casper, I have to confess something. You know you can tell me anything. Come on, just do it. Even though it was such a strange time that I went to, there were moments when I thought about not coming back. That's understandable. I'm here. I sent you into the unknown. I'm not as tough as all of you. Yes, you are, Ola, in your own way. That's why you're so important to us. That doesn't make any sense. Yes, you are, Ola, in your own way. What way? You survived. Only 4 of us did. Doesn't that prove it to you? I survived because of you, Casper. Did I do anything? And I survived because of you. Really? We had more than strength to survive, you know. Without you, there would be no reason to survive. That's a pretty heavy burden to put on a person. Really? Of course. Okay. She's loyal now. She'll follow me, even until death. Perfect. What is this button? What's my inventory? Oh, there's the vetiverism. It's scary. I don't know if I like vetiverism. How do I... Oh, it's right... Okay, it changes the music. Okay. What am I clicking on? What does this one do? Oh, that takes it out of full screen. Oopsies. Okay, well, I've zoomed in on... Oh! Okay, I can zoom in and out. So, let's send someone... Do we send someone back to vetiverism time? Send a different person? Everyone has succumbed to a kind of madness, a puritanical obsession with violence and destruction, a belief that killing is only a worthwhile and virtuous action. Even the most rational and intelligent dedicate their talents towards creating weapons that can destroy people and the environment around them. Survival is only possible in groups dedicated to destroying others, though nobody is ever truly safe, and few live beyond their 20s. Nobody seems to know, understand, or care about the origins of this mania. It is treated as a self-evident truth and is loosely known as vetiverism. There is no this is the present day. You're fairly certain that there are no more humans on the planet. Okay, yeah, we all know that. Alright, so I think we have to send someone back to vetiverism time. Let's send another child. If nobody... Oh. Send back to the time of vetiverism. What's all this? Woldote? Huh. Okay, I guess we can send kids back to do something at these locations, like to kill Woldote or Rusia, but I don't know who they are. We have to learn more, I think. Let's, send back to the time of Vetiverus with Vetiverus poetry. Oh, and I can send objects with them, I see. Interesting. Can I send nothing, though? Can I deselect? No, I have to send something. I don't know what Jag's drawing looks like. I don't know if Vetiverism poetry will really change much, though. So let's send back Jag's drawing, and let's learn from... Yeah, probably the research labs. That seems reasonable. If nobody lives past their 20s, you should probably not send Ola. They seem to take pity on children. Let's send Jag. He could use some maturing. Bye, Jag. Have a nice trip. Don't get completely wrecked. Did you learn anything new? Yes, a number of Vetiverists wanted to... Oh, how old are you? 19. A number of Vetiverists wanted to make a push for total dominance. They began working together secretly due to the shameful nature of working so closely with others, and were using slave labor to develop new weapons. They felt once total dominance was established, all things would be excused in their fulfillment of Vetiverse principles. What sort of weapons? That was their other shameful secret. There were no honorable combat weapons, but clandestine devices based on old technologies which could wreak mass destruction. Weather manipulation being one of them. Sounds like they succeeded. Yes, but perhaps we can stop them. I learned the name of a man instrumental in the project. Woldote. Good work. Oh, so maybe we can kill him or something. That sounds very useful. Oh, but we can go before. Sending somebody to the past inevitably changes the present, but if you can retrieve enough information on things such as astral events, sonic parameters, and environmental idiosyncrasies, you can send the person back safely wandering. Okay, blah blah blah. Same as last time. I kind of want to assign the child here, though, just to learn more about Woldote, if possible. Oh, so we can kill him right away. I don't know if that's a good idea. I'd like to learn. Send them back with the Jag's drawing. Go, find out. We have to figure out if Woldote is really the problem. You know, we don't want to just start shooting people. Without some... Oh, what, whoa. Comes the Mons. Mons, you doing okay? You learn anything new? Yes, a number of Vetiverists wanted to make a push for... Oh, okay, blah blah blah. Total dominance, huh? Yeah, we already know that. Alright, well, you didn't learn anything new. Thanks for nothing, Mons. Alright, let's go back here. Assign child. We're sending Mons. Go. Ugh, Jesus, that's a picture. Find out what happened. These loading screens are trippy. What'd you discover? You're 28 now? You're older than Ola. That's weird. Quite a lot. It's a lot more peaceful than the time of Vetiverse, so I was able to learn quite a bit, not only about the period I went to, but even earlier eras. Tell me what area you visited. It had everything. Planes, trains, cars, global communication. You could get anything you wanted, go anywhere. They had big, beautiful cities, everyone is young, everything works under the Nerolian principles. It's almost perfect, except? The people there are aimless. It's as if they cannot find anything to focus upon achieving. Their relationships with each other are hollow and petty. They throw themselves into entertainments, but even there they seem culturally ambivalent. What'd you learn about the past? I gathered variables for 2 different periods prior to the time I visited. I couldn't get anything further back. Very good. Tell me about them. Years before the time I went there was a lot of activity, a prosperous period where a lot of stuff was built. Before that, there was something called the Great Smothering. What about this Great Smothering? It was actually referred to as the Great Beginning. The term smothering was seen as a bit subversive towards Nerolianism, emphasizing what came before rather than what came afterwards. There was growing anti-Nerolian sentiment in the time I went to, though it was still somewhat underground. What exactly was smothered? The past. Great Smothering was what they called the period during which they eradicated everything from the past. Records, culture, art, everything. Anything from the past that held any kind of inherent psychological or artistic value. Everything from the smallest teacup design to the largest architectural structure was destroyed, if it didn't adhere to the Nerolian principles. Anyone preserving such things were punished. Though it seems like most people at the time believed fully in the concept. Why? Sort of depends on who you ask. There's the accepted history, the subversive one, and then all sorts of conspiracy theories. What about the subversive one? Some people were starting to say that life before the smothering was actually better than what came afterwards. They thought the Great Smothering, perhaps even Nerolism itself, was just a method for gathering and retaining power. By who? Certain Nerolians, maybe other clandestine groups. It was frowned upon to even talk about such things. It was often spoken about very vaguely. Yeah, it's like, it seems like this time was like kind of like a fake utopia, because like they all felt like they had everything, or like they like all their needs were fulfilled, but nobody like had any goals. But it also probably seemed a bit more perfect than it was, because it seems like they were probably destroying anything negative about their past, right? So it seems like it was probably some sort of dictatorship disguised as a utopia, you know? So, what about... what's the accepted story? That there was nothing worthwhile before the Nerolian age. See, they don't want you to know, like, that it was probably better before then, you know? Then they got a whole bunch of control in there, and now it's a fake good. That the stuff destroyed was all just clutter, that the incredible prosperity which followed was proof of Nerolism and the Great Beginning's virtue. But how do you know if you're really prospering if you don't know what it was like before? You know? Tell me about the conspiracy theories. There were lots of stories, although it became hard to tell which were intended as entertainment and which were disguised as it. Some people were desperate for things to believe beyond Nerolianism, I think. Go on. Some suggested the smothering was an attempt to cover up terrible things from humanity's past. See? That's probably the truth. Things which would make it impossible to go on. I knew a man who believed it was a way of suppressing human beings' inherent supernatural abilities. There was also this idea that violence and chaos were humanity's true birthright, that only things which could bring a person true fulfillment. I think a lot of it was just malaise. People yearning for something other than the world they found themselves in. I don't think there's any value in these stories. Well, I don't know about that. Tell me about the prosperous story. I mean, I don't know. I feel like this is probably why the society collapsed, because most of the time empires fall because they lose like a main source of entertainment, and like it doesn't look like because they had no goals, so they probably nobody was having fun basically. Like empires can go a pretty long time even if everybody's like starving and miserable, but as soon as it stops being fun, that's when they usually fall. like Like Rome. You love thinking about Rome, don't you? Like, for a while they were, like, starving and, like, people were really poor, but then they rolled out the Colosseums and that let them keep going for a little while longer, but then, like, Colosseum fights got a little boring, so then they brought, like, animals into the Colosseum to get things more exciting, and then that got boring, and then riots when the Colosseum fully stopped being entertaining, and then that's when the collapse happened. I think. I don't know, I'm trying to remember. I learned about it in school. I wasn't super duper paying attention, but most of the time empires fall because things are boring. And it sounds like this empire, like, while everything was perfect, it was kind of boring as hell. Tell me about the prosperous period. It was an incredible time of great people, though that might just be the self-glorification of history. It wasn't big or grandiose. That went against the Neuralian principles of the time. It was pure kind of beauty, an efficient kind of luxury. What about vtuberism? It was an underground movement populated by people too weird and abrasive to adjust to society. It was a fairly superficial movement. They loved violence without actually engaging in it. They liked its radical nature. I don't think many were smart enough to come up with the idea themselves, though. I think the root of our current predicament lies deeper than this. The destructiveness of vtuberism, it was the cause of our current situation. We have to stop before... I don't know. Let's see what... I think a current predicament lies deeper than this. I suppose we can go a bit further back now anyways. How many times do you think we'll have to do this? As many times as needed. There's no future for humanity otherwise, you know that. I'll do my best to make the right decisions. I don't know. I don't know. Hope it's not too many. Were there any other ideas at the time? That's what I spent a lot of time investigating. Things were starting to emerge, but only on the fringes. Bergamism, Ceterism. People into them were seen as radicals, idiots, dangerous though. Many I think were false, but some seemed promising. I brought back some materials related to them. Neuralian? Yeah, it was the foundation and purpose of the world back then. What is Neuralianism? Essentially, it was the idea of focus being the most important quality, of removing anything that held no value. In Neuralism, one must think like an arrow, not the target. There's little respect for a person who had many interests, for instance. You're meant to be singularly dedicated and pure and become a perfect expression of something. I mean, I kinda get it, I guess. It's like the opposite of a jack of all trades. You want a person to be, like, the master of, like, their own, like, only one subject. But I feel like if you do that, you kind of stunt your growth, you know? Like, if you're only focused on one thing, it's hard to evolve the skill anywhere beyond that. Like, you can't, like, think outside of the box at all. But, so I don't know how great that is as an idea. We're gonna keep silent on this one. For example, it was distasteful for an artist, a musician, or a filmmaker, say, to release lots and lots of work. To people back then, an artist, like, that obviously lacked vision and conviction. It was evidence of how his character to just throw everything out there and hope something resonated with people. It was also irresponsible to clutter people's cultural lives in this way. You know, I feel like that's not too dissimilar for, like, today. Like, when I was in, like, art college, they'd always be like, you guys, you can't have too many styles in your portfolios or else people will think that you don't have, like, a specialty, you know? Like, they lose confidence in your ability to do, like, one thing well. Like, say you want to make children's books or something, so you have some children's book stuff, but like, maybe you also want to make video games for, like, I don't know, teenager age, and then maybe, like, also you want to experiment in graphic designs for luxury brands, and you have all that in your portfolio. But if you're gonna like show your portfolio to, like, let's say the luxury brand people, they're gonna look at it and they're gonna see, like, your video game stuff and your children's book stuff too, and they're gonna be like, oh, I don't know, they only have a little bit of the luxury brand stuff. Like, what if they can't do it? Like, what if they can't do it in a million different ways? You know, like, they want it to be super duper hyper focused so that they're more confident in, like, oh yeah, this is definitely their style. They'll be able to make anything in this style. If you have too many styles going on, they're just like, oh, I don't know, what if it was just luck this one time? So it's like, it's not that different from how people still think today, I guess. But I understand now. Alright, thank you, you did well. Alright, let's see what else we can find out. We could go back further. Oh, we can go really back further. The Great Smothering. I feel like that's kind of more important than the Prosperity Age. Past is irrelevant. Distraction is death. Options obstruct. Entertainment pollutes the mind. History paralyzes the soul. These tenets of neuralism became universal as people embraced them. Viewing the immense accumulation of nature as repulsive beyond a burden upon civilization, Neuralians set about destroying all of it, so that they may grow closer to the most valuable of virtues, focus. Because of this, gathering the variables needed for any time before this will be difficult. Oh, okay, so maybe this is a limit. What do we want to bring back to the smothering? What wants to get smothered? Should we send some art back there just to shake things up? I don't know. We should probably learn a bit though. Let's send Jag, because he's the youngest. He's still got some years to lose. Should we subvert? Subvert the smothering? Subvert smothering. Send back Jag to create smothering to subvert or give some smothering. Would that work? Can we just do it just like that, or should we learn first? Maybe we should learn. Let's see what subvert does. Said my name for a second. How was it? It was a rather exciting time, actually. They had many names for it. The New Beginning, The Great Inception, The New Future, this sort of thing. How old are you, Jack? 29. There was a sense that it was really the start of something positive, a new vision of life. What was life like? Quite active. Everybody was involved in removing old world and building the new. Every day you would see a building torn down or a new one go up. A new sculpture in public or a new design concept for everyday objects. This sense of purpose gave everyone a sense of togetherness that made life quite easy, and the changes around them made it seem like anything was possible. Did you learn about what happened before all this? Not much. It was surprisingly difficult, even though there was people still alive who must have known what came before. There were strict laws against discussing it, but more than that, it was simply an assumed truth that the clean future was good, and dredging up the past was destructive and negative. What do you think, Casper? I mean, about Neuralianism? I don't believe we should forget the past. I think it can teach us many things. I think there's a strong argument for forgetting the past and clutter. No, don't forget the past. It's kind of important, so you don't do stupidness. Are you alright, Jag? Sure. Tell me. It's really nothing. I'm still getting my head around it. Look like you have something on your mind. That's when you're supposed to go. No, tell me, kid. You look like you have something on your mind. That obvious? I was never a good liar. I don't know if we should push him. Let's do it. What is it? It's going to sound silly. Go on. I had a girl back there. Lens Pio was her name. What was she like? Fun, open, relaxed. She was so easy to be around, easy to laugh with. How long were you together? 3 years. I broke up with her about a month ago, knowing I would have to come back here. I'm sorry, Jag, but don't worry, there will be another girl for you elsewhere. I'm sorry, Jag. I'm sure that was very difficult. Yeah, don't say that right now. He's not ready, probably. I'm sorry, Jag. I'm sure it was very difficult. Yeah, it was. For a second, I almost thought about... No, don't worry. I would have never done that to all of you. Oh, damn, he's ready to betray us. You're never gonna see her again. You're dangerous, Jag. What was your name? Leo something? Oh, can we change, like... Oh, yeah, we can change the vibe. I see. Oh, so that's what we're doing. Interesting. Didn't I see Leo somewhere else? Was it, like, over here in the veterism time? No, it was Leto. Cancel. Let's go to prosperity. I don't think I really did anything, though. Just nothing was subverted. Although, maybe I didn't really pick anything that made sense. What do we want to send here? Well, it's Ola's turn now. Maybe we should just send someone learn. Prosperity through immaculacy. Learn. Yeah, let's just see how this goes. It's kind of scary when we time travel. All these things, I don't know what they mean. You look well, do you? You're 31. I enjoyed it. It was a happy time. There was an energy and optimism for the future, a sense that things were getting better all the time. It felt very strange to be the only person who knew things wouldn't. What'd you learn? It was hard to learn anything. The fundamental principle of society was nihilism, which meant the removal of all superfluous or alternate ideas, making it hard to discover anything beyond it. I know enough about nihilism. What were the people like? To me, to us, they seemed odd, but good. They were honest, direct, but somewhat boring. They were dedicated to their chosen work or purpose, which might make them seem simple, though in such a society, the small idiosyncrasy became hugely important. Perception of an entire person could focus upon their use of a certain word or a small mannerism, for instance. What did you do? I didn't need to do much to survive. There was so much opportunity in production that living was easy. It was a society in which you could do whatever you wanted as long as it adhered in some way to nihilism. It was enforced? No, it wasn't a top-down thing. It was more all around you. A philosophy that ran through everything. The architecture, the language, the people. It was self-evident truth that every soul carried within them. Do you think we can influence this time period in any meaningful way? Despite how well things are going, I think so. There are definitely elements that could be exploited, and there was constant discussion about society and its undertakings by everyone. Such discussions were odd in that they often focused on what should be forgotten and consigned to the past rather than where to direct the future. Go on. There was a woman called Tam Welk, for instance, who grew in prominence during the decade. She was a good leader and a unique thinker who had talent for foreseeing problems, a pivotal figure, I think. There was also intense arguments around design. Factions formed and rearranged themselves constantly around such ridiculous ideas. Things like nature and purpose of corners, color contrast, or the shape of light switches. They all adhered to the principles of nihilism, but of course, nihilism, of course, but differed on how to manifest them. There was a serious fear that art and design was how radicals could potentially subvert things. Do you think he's right? Of course not, though I suppose you have a different perspective, being young, watching us age. Yeah, how old am I? Am I like a 6-year-old or something? Having never really known old, tell me, do you remember what we were outside before we found this place? Why do you ask? You remember how many of us there were? Never counted or thought about it. Fewer every day. Thousands, then hundreds and dozens, and just us. But for the longest time, there was about a dozen of us. For months after the death and abandonments and splitting off, I thought we would all last. Why are you thinking about this? Do you remember Anno? Do you want to know why I killed her? Did we kill her? Are we a bad person? Yes. Why did you kill her? She had found food which she had kept to herself. If I hadn't, we would all be dead. Not just our group, but humanity itself. Is that true? Are we lying? Is it really that she just found food? If I hadn't, we'd all be dead. How? She's a weak liar with no loyalty like the rest of us. I could not keep you all alive. That doesn't make any sense. Did she really have no loyalty? I feel like we're trapped. She's a weak liar. Compassion was the biggest, lowest, and most insidious She died because she was a nice person who couldn't lie. That sounds bad. Better a quick death than the rain tearing you to pieces. God, we're a bad person, aren't we? We killed a nice person? Just, God. Oh dear. Better a quick death than the rain tearing you to pieces. I understand. I will always be grateful for... She's like, I'm terrified of you. Oh, I don't like how she moves in her picture. That's kind of creepy as hell. They all do it. It's cool and horrifying. Weird. That's creepy. I don't like it. But now I feel bad. I'm a bad person. Alright, so how are we gonna start resolving things? We have a lot of evidence. What does data do? I'm afraid to touch things. What's this box? Oh, these are my things! Oh, that's Jag's drawing. No wonder nothing changed. What the hell is that? Oh, we got a sniper rifle. Vtuber's poetry. The man who does not, corrupted and dissolved, a path that leads only away from essence to a place of non-existence. The man who does not is dependent, drawn to structure, compensations. He is not to know that all things are paid for, and they will do to him what he refuses to do to them. The man who does not destroy has no sense of time. He attempts to parley with death. To cheat time, he seeks a pathetic eternity. The man who does not destroy belongs to nowhere. His lack of action is a lack of understanding. He does not know why the cat kills, the flower wilts, he cannot exist among them. The man who does not destroy is a lie. The man who does not destroy cannot love, only contort, half-formed solutions temper him, owner of nothing himself. Seal laid out. I don't like Seal. They seem like a bad person. We should probably shoot them. Or maybe not. I don't know. Weather frequencies. Seems to be a reference for something, with the implication that the weather can be altered somehow. Interesting. Poster? Sure is a special poster. I don't know what the hell we're looking at. For Nerolian fashion mag. Haute couture. What's this? Stuck in newspapers. Interesting. And more art. Well, they mentioned that we could start changing things in that area if we start sending art back, right? But should we? Should we change things? And I mean, it's not like it was perfect, because this is what happened right after it, but I don't know. I feel like killing the bad guy here would probably be a move too soon or something. Like, I don't think that's going to be enough to change the future. I think it's got to start back around here somewhere with the morals. What if we send some art back here? Bergamist art. Help. Let's see. Ame? Was this the right one? Wait, was it this one? I kind of want to, yeah, I want to send it to Temwalk. Bergamist, Temwalk, help. We will send Mons. Let's see how this goes. Although we didn't really do anything with these other people. Well, let's just see how this goes. See what happens. I don't know what I'm doing. It's hard to save the world. I couldn't change anything meaningfully enough. Okay, we'll get him next time, Tiger. How do you reckon we can change things in this era? It's hard to change things in the society, especially one like that. Everything is so robust, systems upon systems upon systems. I see. There are natural forces in motion during that area. Easier to direct them than resist them, perhaps. There must be some way to disrupt it. Let me think. Temwalk embodied a lot of successes of the time. She was massively influential to a totem, and also active in the direction of society. I think we'd do something with her, then it would have huge ripples through this time. But she's smart and tough and well protected. To get close to her would require someone with a lot of dedication or more perceptive qualities. Is there an easier option? Riro Hig, I suppose, his desire to limit the age of the population seemed fairly critical to the future. That's crazy. Was he successful in this timeline? If he did, then neuralism smothered it, so I don't know. Perhaps not as much as he wanted, but in later eras, it definitely seems like older people had diminished roles in society. Do you think he'd be easier to subvert than Temwalk? Maybe that's why Veverists were so successful. Violence has a more youthful appeal. Definitely, that makes sense. Should we kill him? I think we should learn more about him first, though. If we can. Learn. Send him back. Jag. Send Jag back to prosperity through maculacy to take or learn from... Yeah. Subvert? Let's just send them to learn. I think if we keep delaying this though. They might die before we can change anything. Because they're already getting kind of older. Well, I didn't want to change any things. Alright. Alright, let's just start making moves. What if we... What was the newspapers again? I want to send something back that will really get them cooking. Collection of newspapers from the period immediately following the Great Smothering. Major disasters, events, and culture. What if we send this back? That's a lot of information that might be useful. Should we send it to Tam, though? Because I don't know if she's a or she or he. I think it was a he. I don't know if he's a bad person. Well, what could go wrong? Let's just see. Or maybe we should send it... No, Riro's bad, though. Riro likes violence, and he wants to kill the old people. Let's try this out. See what happens if we send her with a stack of newspapers. Go. Let's see what happens. I mean, if Tam's smart, though, then they'll probably be able to do something with the newspapers. No? What? Really? Systems upon systems, huh? Yeah. Must be some way. Alright, let's try something different. Thank you for your help. Let's see, maybe we go back further here. Smothering. Pre-smothering. Or maybe we should just kill somebody. What if we killed... We kill Riro. He's not very well protected. We have a sniper rifle. We'll send back Mons. Yeah. Yeah, go kill him. Let's see what this does. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Definitely, that makes sense. Oh, you had an effect on the timeline, it seems. A good one? I don't know. There's a density of flora around the bunker. Oh, really? There doesn't seem to be any signs of sentient life outside. That doesn't sound good. Our filtration system is going crazy. That doesn't sound good. There's a density of flora around the bunker. Flowers are nice. Flora. Strange. Plant life seems to be thriving despite dramatically different atmosphere. Uh-oh. Doesn't seem to... Oh, shoot. There's signs of sentient life outside. Nobody at all? It's possible to tell with our sensors. There may be survivors, though. Filtration system is going crazy. Why? The air is full of toxins. We can't breathe if we leave them? Probably not. Maybe if we devise or find oxygen tanks, though skin contact could still be a problem. Can we leave? I think it'd be better for us to try to change things again. Oh, we screwed up. Oopsies. Well, we're on a different timeline now. Oh, the flower of death. Nature corrects what humans cannot. Overwhelmed systems, experimental food supplies, the glut of human biomass make fertile ground for disease and deformity. The plague tears through this large but weakened populace quickly and destructively. Just as plants evolve protections against predators, the planet develops an ecosystem that will ensure no trace of humanity can never taint it again. Interesting. I've heard, like, I took, like, a class on, like, death and stuff, and it was like, the Earth will find a way to heal itself, basically, you know? Because the Earth is its own living thing, and it's like, I don't know, sometimes it just wipes out, wipes out populations to survive. It's like, it's like, healing a wound, you know? It'll find a way. Whether or not it agrees with us, who knows? Sending somebody to the past inevitably changes the present. Well, let's see what happens here. Go, Jag. I choose you. Go on, Jag. I don't know if it's gonna be worth it, like, if they get too old. Past 10 years have been quite depressing. I can tell you that for a start. In what way? It's a civilization in decline, and though everyone can feel something is wrong, a lot of them don't even realize it yet. What sort of decline? By almost every metric, society was getting worse. Even in the decade I was there, the change was noticeable. Once beautiful places were made ugly, people became less kind, less interesting. It was as if humans became primarily concerned with the territorial and lost their sensitivity to other things. Many groups were beginning to emerge from the chaos, claiming to have the answers. Bergamists, satirists, veterists even. How'd you cope with it? I got a job, and stuff you taught us to do here, maintaining the filtration, water, synthesizing food. It's pretty useful back then. A lot of core systems were breaking down through the strain. Despite there being so many people, most of them were idiots. Well done. Thanks, I did pretty well. The rest of the ranks, you know, I sort of enjoy living in this society. I could see it being a good way to live, it's just that back then everything was starting to collapse. How'd you fix it? That's all anyone talked about back then. I disagreed with most of them, though I'm not sure about of the answer myself. I've thought about it a lot, though. Go on. Well, think about us. For 5 years we lived in this bunker. You raised us here, we managed well. That's because of you, good management. All society needs is good people in power and you can solve any problem. You think we can influence the time period then? Easily, it's just a case of picking your own poison. Of the groups we've learned about, one of them has to be a better choice to take over. Casper, I'm sure this seems like a silly thing to ask about. You probably think I'm being weak and sentimental, but for some reason I keep wondering about it. Go on. If you think that, it's probably true. Some things are better to wonder about than speak out loud. Go on. I can't remember, or maybe it's just that my memories are so muddled. I can't tell which are real and which I've made up. Anyway, I wanted to ask where you found me, out there, before we got to the bunker. Found you barely breathing in a pile of dead bodies, probably your family. That's awful. Better off not knowing. No, we've been making Jag tell us all sorts of stuff. We should share, even if it's horrible. Oh. They've been killed. Do you feel better now? Doesn't that warm your heart? They had been killed. You had an older sister and a brother who looked a lot like you, and that's why I figured you were family. Your mother was pregnant. That's awful. And that's that. Let's just end it there. Thanks. Sorry, you wanted to know. Alright, well, we could send something here. I don't know if it's the right time, though. The atmosphere is kind of trash. Maybe we should check out here, too. Let's send Ola. Go find out. Maybe they recovered during this era. Or maybe things got much worse. Because they probably got worse. Let's be realistic. This is a skull on it. Tell me what you found. Everywhere I went, there were masses of people. Crowds, their individuality, their complexity, their humanity gone. Perhaps forever. They acted as a mob, following others around them. It was humiliating to see, but they were beyond even feeling shame. I always thought there was a type of beauty to be found in large numbers of people, but back there it seemed only the very worst, the ugliest aspects thrived. Had civilization fallen? Yes, sort of. Sort of. Civilization had become a backdrop, an empty ritual, the meaning of which was lost. The people were surrounded by the works of civilization, its systems, politics, culture, but they had no sense of how much had gone into building them, or even maintaining them. Of course, it was easy for me to see, but it was surprising just how much of these things were being taken for granted. The people were long detached from the process of building a civilization, and knew only how to reap its benefits. Wasn't anybody trying to fix things? They talked a lot about it, but they talked a lot because talking was all they could do. They talked to convince themselves certain things were good, certain things were bad. They even talked about a lot about the need for a new smothering, but in the end it was just talk. Change was impossible. Because they had no power? Somewhat. What do you mean? There were people in control for sure, but I couldn't get close to them at all. They were protected in every way possible, socially, physically, intellectually. But there were simply too many people in the world for any of them, or even a minority, to have any effect upon it. For every determined, charismatic, capable person, there were thousands of those who had given up to pull him back to the mean, to dilute his ideas, condemn his actions, subvert his intentions in a kind of funny way. A society with an abundant amount of people is quite robust. They end up policing each other, thinking for each other, correcting each other, until all the anomalies are removed, and all people follow the path of least resistance, which is practically static. How people live. Crammed into tiny apartments, few streets one didn't have to shove their way through. Constant traffic. Pointless noise and disruptive crudeness. Everything took a long time, and to gain even the smallest thing from oneself required immense effort. They worked at whatever they could earn to earn meager wages merely to survive. Anything more than that wasn't even worth imagining for them. Technology was somewhat advanced, however, so people could spend much of their time in worlds of fantasy and imagination. They weren't very sophisticated, stimulating, or complex, but any alternative reality was welcomed. Oh, what was the problem? That sounds like a whole problem right there. What were the people like? Tragic. They were tragic, tired, and broken. What was the problem exactly? I spent a lot of time thinking about that, and there were very few people considering that problem back then as well. There's some theories, of course. Most people insisted that there was no problem at all. Tell me these theories. Personally, I think in the time I visited it was too little too late, but with the benefit of hindsight, some thinkers had convincing arguments for what had gone wrong. There's one about humanity's psychic wound, and then there was another about a very controversial notion about the sanctity of human life. One that suggested overpopulation was inevitable, but needn't be detrimental, and another that proposed it as a self-correcting problem. We know already this isn't a self-correcting problem. Tell me psychic wound theory. This one is interesting. The writer who articulated it developed a cult following, and his murder only made it grow, and seemed to be gaining even more steam just before I left. Though I guess it didn't amount to anything. Go on. It goes like this. For thousands, tens of thousands, or of years of humans lived with the unknown. They had regions, territories, places they knew, but there are always boundaries, frontiers, beyond which anything could exist. The most savage dangers, or the most wonderful treasures, could possibly reside in this unknown. This is why, he argued, humans developed curiosity, an appetite for risk, a sense of adventure. Human beings of exploration, he said, in a way that no other animals are— Humans are beings of exploration, he said, in a way that no other animal is. A relationship with the unknown is fundamental to humanity. I suppose that's true, I guess. You're right, this is quite interesting. The problem then was that the world, as it was back then, was entirely mapped, catalogued, documented, and known. They had systems that allowed you to message people across the planet instantly. You could find live visual feeds of anywhere you wanted, information about every place, person, and thing which existed. I mean, that doesn't sound too far off from how it is right now in real life. Like, you know, the internet, you can find basically everything. Everything's being streamed most of the time, too. Or, like, on a camera somewhere. I don't know. It was impossible to get lost, impossible to step foot where nobody had stepped before. There were no unimaginable dangers and no undiscovered treasures. He thought that this was a profound loss for humans, that he called it the psychic wound. Did he have a solution? Yes, though after his death it was interpreted and reinterpreted into various ideas such as transcendence and new languages, which people argued about constantly. Essentially, however, his solution was simple: space. The only thing which could satisfy humanity's physical, psychological, and spiritual need was to begin exploring beyond the planet, he believed. Maybe? I mean, I guess, I don't know. We do, as a society, do seem to enjoy exploring space. And it is a lot bigger than Earth, so maybe, I guess, he's right. I don't know. I wonder. Sanctity of human life. We already know this. Well, I mean, it is kind of self-corrected, considering everybody's dead now. Nah, no more theories. More than twice your age now, Casper. I know. Isn't it time we consider sending you back? I'm sure you could achieve more than any of us. Who would operate the machine to send me back? One of us could learn. Think I'm lying, Ola? You think I'm lying? The systems of this bunker won't last more than a few years. It took me 5 to learn how to operate it. Let's just say that. We spent decades in the past. Couldn't you have given us the materials when we went so that we could use that for time for learning? What is this about? Impossible without hands-on experience. I made many mistakes before getting it. Performed many tests. What is this about? We spent decades in the past. Couldn't you have given us... materials when we went back so we could use that time for learning. Do you think I'm lying, Ola? No, of course not. Then why are you asking this? I'm not sure if I pity or envy the fact that you'll never go back like we do. I think she doesn't trust us very much. Huh. Alright, well we can always go back to the Great Smothering. I mean, we could probably do something here, right? Feeling that everything that could happen was worth happening. Drug lab. A personal device worn around the forearm capable of synthesizing and injecting various chemicals to help the wearer maintain a certain mood or induce other states of consciousness. Interesting. Psychic wound. I don't know, should we start shooting other people? I don't know if we should send anybody back with a veterans poetry. Drug lab? Changing moods? Huh. Nothing but mere existence is its prize. We need to inspire people, somehow. I don't know if Jag's drawing is helping anybody. Maybe it's not the time that we should go. I think we have to do something here. Pre-smothering artifacts. There's no people here. Help the smothering. Architecture. Learn about the architecture? Is that really gonna help anybody? I don't know. Oh, but we could go back here and not kill Riro. Radical designers. Should we just start killing different people? Just see what happens? Tam Welk. What if we send back... Psychic wound. Send back to prosperity through immaculacy with psychic wound. Learn. Take or learn from help? To help? Maybe? Maybe that'll help? I don't really know though. I don't think so. Drug lab maybe? Because that can change a mood, but would that help us in this circumstance? Subvert? Maybe subvert? Maybe we should subvert Riro? With the drugs? Let's try that. I don't know. Because Riro's gonna be easier to get to. No, you couldn't do anything? Systems upon systems. Tamwelk. A lot of dedication to more perceptive qualities. What do I have? Jag is a veteranist, really? He's docile. Ola's... Ola's not as determined. Mons is my most determined, and she couldn't do nothing. I don't know if I have anybody that can do that. Easier option? I tried Raro. Hey, thanks. Their natural forces in motion during that area. Easier to direct them than resist them, perhaps. I agree. I think fringe designers might be the best way to subvert the coarse and narrow in society. Fringe designers. Do you think it'll be hard to use them? Not particularly. I think it will take someone with a decent amount of artistic sensitivities to be able to extract any influence on them. If not that. Well, they're desperate for something new, exciting. If we have something to provoke that, a completely different perspective from which to express themselves, I think they'll be very easy to influence. And also very influential themselves. Thank you for your help, Mons. So maybe we can send someone to do something with that. Not them, the designers. Subvert. We could send the Bergamist. Should we send the Jag's drawing? Is that gonna be enough? It's kind of awful. Let's give it a shot. I believe in Jag's drawing. Let's send Jag. Jag with Jag's drawing. Or maybe you should send the poster. What was the poster? When did I get the poster? No, only way out of this is Berganism. I have supreme amount of confidence in Jag's drawing. I think we should send that. Jag's drawing, Subvert, radical designers, send Jag himself. I don't know if this is gonna work at all. We're probably gonna doom ourselves. Everyone's gonna be dead before we figure out what's gonna happen. Nope, nothing. We'll get him next time, Tiger. Alright, we'll try something. Oh, Jag's got a receding hairline. We have to hurry it up. Alright. Fashion magazine? Radical designers, Subvert. Send Ola? Maybe? I have no idea. Maybe this will work? I mean, the fashion from that area was supposed to be good, right? No? Ah, damn it. Systems upon systems. There's gotta be a way to get the TAM. Option. Alright. 361, that's not good. Do something here? Maybe we can just help a group? I don't know much about the Seterists. I don't think I learned about them at any point. Bergamists? I don't remember what the Bergamists were like. Maybe we should just take a chance on the Seterists. You never know. Help them? Help them with what? A rifle? I'm not sure what to give them. I mean... Sniper rifle's one way to deal with the overpopulation problem. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what would be the most helpful. Let's just send the sniper rifle. I don't know anymore. Everyone's gonna die before we figure this out. I have a horrible idea of how this is gonna go. I think we're gonna screw everyone over. I managed to erode old Norellian principles further and help opposing groups gain more influence among the masses. The friction and division alone made it easier to influence society. Changes you brought to this timeline seem strange. How so? From what we can hear on the radio, it seems that civilization persists, but under quite a lot of strain. It kind of makes sense. I wasn't able to secure dominance for the group you sent me back to help, but the power vacuum was definitely created. In this present, it seems that anyone over 40 is killed. We won't all be able to survive here. Maybe we can if we avoid others. You're right, though. This is no world for us. Damn it. I mean, it's slightly better. Should I change something else? Maybe we should go back to Norellianism. It might have been closed-minded, but maybe it's the way to go. Help them. Try this. Because was Sitarism the one that was like kind of ageist? I forget. Nothing changed. Couldn't change much. In society with so many people, it's hard to change things. Maybe I wasn't diligent enough, or maybe I didn't have an idea that was compelling enough. I mean by compelling enough? Nihilism is eroded. There were so many people that the world of ideas, aesthetics, and values has become dense, devalued, chaotic. I don't think elegant and little novelties will work in that era. The people there need something dramatic, inspirational, perhaps violent, perhaps wildly ambitious. I don't know. I mean, they sent you back with a gun. What more do you want? Alright. Should we send someone here? You can send a person back safely while ensuring your current existence. Let's send someone here. I don't know. Ola, I guess. Ola's getting up there in age. Don't die. Whoa. Trippy. I don't think there's any saving us. Although I didn't really check out our current situation there. There are people alive right now? The planet is habitable? Yes, you can hear them on the radio. We did it! Oh, we did it! A future for humanity, so we can leave this place finally, together? No, I'm not sure this is the kind of world we should live in. Well, I mean, how bad is it? Yes, we'll go soon. So proud of us. Is it? Is it really good? Committees of control. When a problem is this great, so must the solution be. Previous unthinkable deeds are now being discussed. Death itself has lost its gravity. Several groups emerge with proposals. Nerolians gather new vigor from the notion that life is still sacrosanct, and we only need to learn to live with less. Veterans propose a culling of the physically weak. Bergamists prefer to select using psychology. Satirists revel in the new opportunities of control such a massive population offers. Oops, maybe we shouldn't have helped them before. Death squads and murderers run rampant through the streets below as heady intellectualism runs above. That doesn't sound good. What about now? People must be cultivated like the plant, bred like the beast, euthanized at 30. Oh, later if one has earned it, earlier if one deserves it. The goal was a race of intellectually and physically superior beings. The results is a stagnant, narcissistic, and petty society of mindless slaves and unchallenged doctrines. One that does not have the solve of love, beauty without art, perfection without complexity, power without purpose. That doesn't sound good. Okay. Can we kill the veterans and cetera's? Death squads, huh? What if we... What's this? We got a new thing. Band musical distortion effect. This device was primarily used in live improvised performances. On rare, unpredictable occasions, the harmonic content of the music running through the device would produce momentary but profound altered states of the presence, such as hallucination, memory loss, and paralysis. Due to this device was outlawed, though subversive groups such as Homicide continue to perform with them. I mean, our gun is working wonders on changing things. Can we do anything here? Prefer to select using psychology. Can we help the Bergamists out? I mean, the Nerolians are okay, but... Death squads and murderers run rampant to the streets below as heady intellectual runs above. I mean, maybe murdering everybody isn't our option. Maybe violence only breeds violence, but how do we convert them? Can we use this mind control-y thing? Subvert them? I don't know about give them. Learn? Help? Kill? Kill the death squads? It seems wouldn't work out so well. Everyone's gonna die soon. There's a lot of tough choices. How old were we? Like 11? I want to help the Bergamists, I think. Help them how? Help them with a sniper rifle? It doesn't seem very intellectual. Stack of newspapers? What good would that do? Let's see if we can subvert these guys. I don't know what that means. But we'll try our best to see what we can do with the death squads. Because I think we have to get rid of violence somehow if we want to live. We can't just keep killing everyone we disagree with. 10 years ago, I kept thinking I had come up with pithy, easy way of explaining this time to you. In this moment, I knew it would come, but as those years passed by, I now realize how difficult it is to explain everything. How the world works, how people think. Do you understand what I mean, Casper? Of course, I think I do. Well, I'll try anyway. Just do your best, Mons. Just tell me if you think we can change anything. Just do your best. The problem is that this was a time of many different groups. Many different ideas, an overload of information, billions of people, all constantly acting, all with their individual perspectives, desires, activities, and it's funny. Funny? I started to think that Nerolians had a point. Maybe not the solution, but perhaps an accurate understanding of the problem. When everyone is constantly bombarded with information all the time, and all the things are permitted, more is lost than is gained. What emerges isn't chaos, but a kind of stagnancy. A static state that absorbs all change. Huh. It's a pretty good summary of the time after all, it seems to me. Huh, perhaps. Alright, so we didn't change anything there. Where do we need to change? I don't want to emerge from my bunker here. It doesn't seem very good. Can we try to kill Tim Tam? Maybe the drug? Subvert? Try that, maybe? See this, if this does anything. Let's see. Any luck? Oh, they're dead. No luck. Well, shoot. I don't think we're gonna get a very good ending. Everyone's gonna die. Should we just accept this place? They're gonna die, though. I mean, they're not gonna be able to make it here. Oh, God. I mean, no matter what, they're gonna die, so might as well try to change the past. Right? Let's try killing Tam. Go. Go, oola, oola, oola la. I mean, at this point, we've lost all hope. Right? Couldn't change anything meaningful. You lived a long time, damn it. We'll get him next time. In another 10 years, you're gonna be so dead. Oh god. Alright. Oh dear. What if we try to kill the death squads? We're just running out of options. I don't think it's gonna work at all. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're so screwed. Alright, Ula, do you want to just exist here? Because you're not gonna make it. I mean, she's not gonna make it here either. Let's just leave. I just feel bad sending her to her death all these times. Nice abs, dude. What are we looking at? I'm a little afraid. That's a nipple. Oh god, don't show YouTube. I mean, it's not a nipple. It's definitely not a naked person. Don't look YouTube. I might have to censor that. Oh dear. Oh, good god. You are really testing YouTube limits. Thank god you're wearing pants. Nobody look! I swear, nothing weird is happening. This is trippy as hell. It kind of reminds me of Who's Lila in a way. I think just the art style and the weirdness of it all. I don't think this is a good timeline to be in, though. Oh, hello. Are you gonna kill us? Is that even us? But I'm only 31. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Oh. Damn. I like... Why 31? That's crazy. It's... I wonder if when I killed, that guy, whatever his name was, the one that was easier to kill than Tam, I wonder if we kind of made him a martyr and that's why his, like, ideology of old people kind of being worthless lived on, you know? I bet that's what happened. Should we try one more time? You know what? We have a little time. We'll speed run. We'll speed run another ending if we can. Casper. Yes. Start game. We'll do it one more time. One more time. While everybody's still young, assign a child. We're sending Mons. I think I know what caused the rains, but it was too late for me to do anything about it. There was a hidden weapon factories, research labs. I believe they were working on weapons for mass destruction. Who? I don't know, but I'm sure there were more powerful groups hidden away. I think they wanted to establish power again, but there was only one form of power veterans respect. Think you can find these factories? Sure of it. And with a rifle I can destroy them. I'm sure that's what they cause the rains. You have to let me try. I'll think about it. I think I totally missed that the first time. But if you think you got this, girl, you got this. Weapons factory. Sniper rifle. Kill? Is kill the right word here? Let's see what happens. I guess. Oh, it said destroy. Let's see what happens. I'm all for spitballing ideas. I managed to sabotage the weather control project. The president has changed, and unfortunately it doesn't look like a big improvement. You did well, Mons. I guess it didn't change much, though there were a few research projects dedicated towards large-scale weapons. I don't think we can take them all out. I'm just glad to have you back alive. Me too. Me too. Good job. You did a good job. The rain don't fall no more. The rain doesn't fall anymore, but a penetrative radiation has seared the earth of all life. The sky is permanent black, the atmosphere has been utterly broken down. Even the thick shielding of the bunker struggles against it, but sneaking a peek, you see the black desert of the alternate world. Still, at least it's proof things can change. Well, at least something happened, I guess. That is true. Let's send somebody back here. Let's send Jag. Go, Jag. We'll try to send Ula last, because she's oldest. Did you miss me? It's tough 3 minutes. I bet it was like a coffin in here. What'd you discover? Quite a lot. It's a lot more peaceful than the time of the veterans, so I was able to learn quite a bit, not only about the period I went to, but even earlier eras. What'd you learn about the... tell me about the era you visited. And of everything except... Oh, we already know about this. Tell me about the prosperous period. What was Great smothering about? What exactly? Why? Tell me everything. Go on. Versive... Nerolian. What is Nerolium? I see. I get it. With no other ideas? People into them were seen as radicals. Veterism. I think the root of our predicament lies deeper than this. Purity wasn't enough anymore. Destructiveness of veterism was the cause of a current situation we have to stop before it develops. I don't think it's so much stopping it. That may be impossible. Natural forces, as you always say. Perhaps anger, frustration, and the need for counterbalance to narrowism among the people can be channeled into something else. Thanks, you did well. What can it channel it into, though? Need for destruction. Huh. Suppress tensions. Was that what it was called before? Aimlessness prevails. Well, yeah, I read about that one. Mindless. Oh, no. We want to go back here. Radical designers. Riro Hig. He's the guy that wants everybody to die, though. Radical designers... To learn from... We learn from the... I feel like I already tried that and nothing happened. We don't want to send them back with the Nerolian fashion mag, because that wouldn't change anything. Bergamist? They were kind of intellectual. They, like, psychology and stuff. Maybe we should do that. Help them. Subvert them? Did we already try this? Help? Help? With helping? Could they help? Maybe? Let's see what happens. It's just nothing seems more effective than the rifle. You had an effect on the timeline? Ah, shit. It's not a good one. There's full toxins. Oh god. We'd have to prepare thoroughly. So sorry about that. Alright, well that wasn't the answer. Neuralism. Subvert. Can I subvert neuralism with art? Would that work? How about Tam? Can I subvert Tam with art? Send Ola. Hopefully this works. Change anything meaningful. Okay. Systems upon systems, huh? Massively influential. A lot of dedication. More perceptive qualities. I mean, I feel like Ola's the right person for that. Should we just kill her? Could we kill her? Send Mons, maybe? She liked violence. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Maybe something interesting will happen. Damn it, you couldn't do nothing? Well, they're desperate for something new, exciting. If we have something to provoke that, a completely different perspective from which to express themselves, I think they'll be very easy to influence and also very influential themselves. Huh. Well, wasn't there something like that in one of these other timelines? The planet, or the, what was it? The something wound? Send Jag here. Maybe we can do something with that. How'd you cope with it? Well done. First to the ranks, go on. What is it? I know you're gonna hate it, but still better to get it off your chest, not your mind. Well, we know that there are eras in the past which are decent times, when things were pretty great, and people were happy, and we don't know yet if this future is worth doing all this for. Maybe instead of wasting any more of our lives for a future that might never ever be possible, we should just, you know, pick a time we like and send us all back there. We'd all live together, be happy, and not worry about any of this. Who would send me back? Maybe we could figure out some way of doing it, if we dedicate our attention to that instead of this? And let the world just burn out when we have the chance to save everything? It would be nice. I mean, I don't know, it sounds like it would be nice. I'm not very good at changing the future, it seems. Yeah. Just to live fully, just to live together happily. Right. As long as you three can go back, we have to keep trying. The machine can only bring back the last person who went. I've tried to figure it out many times, I can't. Fair enough. Sorry, Jag, but both of our lives must be sacrifices for the future, not reapers of the past. You're asking me to end the human race so that we can have a few self-indulgent years of delusive happiness. I mean, what does it matter? If we're the only ones left, who cares about the rest of the world? That way of thinking is why the world is the way it is. All these kind of suck as answers. You're asking me to end human race. That's kind of rude. They're all kind of rude. Let's just say I'm sorry. I know you're right. I know it's a very difficult, Jag, but are you not enthralled to see so much, so many times and places, to live such a special life? Your destiny is not of a normal man. You're a new founder of a new world. You must do it for others. There'll be something even better than any past if we succeed. That sounds better. Let's just do that. Yeah, he doesn't seem so sure. Did we get anything from here? No, it was from this one, maybe. Send Ola. What'd you find? Sort of. Wasn't anybody trying to fix things? What do you mean? Blah blah blah. Problem. Tell me the theories. Psychic wound theory. That's what I wanted to understand. He's right. We already know the self-correcting problem. They're interesting concepts and the writings are found. They look typically look like animal populations, for example. Say an island can support 100 deer. If you only put a few deer there, they would quickly grow to around 100 of population or would level off. If you put 200 deer there, they would experience death, disease, starvation, and other issues until they reduced in number to about 100, a stable number. Nature corrects its own problems. Yes, natural forces are bigger than anything, like you always say. The key factor isn't the deer, but the island itself. Or in this case, civilization. Neuralians created civilization so strong it could support billions upon billions. But paradoxically, those billions could bring about issues which cause that civilization to crumble. The writer behind the theory claimed that there were historical examples for the demographic causes for the rise of fallen civilization. Ones that he'd somehow retrieved from before the smothering. Which of course got him into a lot of trouble. He said the difference this time was that the extremes are so great that they had become potentially fatal. Ultimately, the problem was that the Neuralian civilization was too successful, too prosperous, too generative, too productive. It was inevitable that it would crumble beneath the weight of its own success. Interesting. I mean, I feel like I've heard that before. Like, in the same death class I was talking about before, I think, or maybe it was technology class, it was like, the theory, like technology rises, like, there's a bunch of charts, and it's like, the civilizations and they're like, there's technological advancements, and it's like, it gets super duper high, and somewhere it hits a peak, and that same peak is when, like, then just right after that, immediately society tends to collapse. It's like, the technology gets too advanced for that civilization to, like, be able to handle, and then boom, it's over. Something like that, you know? How can overpopulation not be detrimental? In short, when you're already in power. It sounds odd perhaps, but some writers suggest that a larger population, the easier it is to control. According to them, the scarcity of resources makes people even more dependent on systems, and thus who controls them. The many humiliations one endures in overpopulated society are easier to tolerate when surrounded by the suffering of others suffering the same, and if disgruntled, rebellious, antagonistic sentiment ever does rise, and is more often directed at those in close proximity who feel the same sentiments. We want to rule over such a civilization. The desperate populace willing to do anything for crumbs is perfect for this state of things for some. The powerful just don't want to live in such a civilization, and they didn't. Their lives are detached, entirely different, I imagine. I couldn't get close to them at all. Sanctity of human life? Do you remember when you used to kill? If I hadn't, there wouldn't be a single soul left on the planet. I did to protect us. We would never have found this place otherwise. I know, back then, people don't think like that, though. However, to them, nothing is more sacred than a human life. To murder is the ultimate sin, and death is the greatest fear. Even the signs of the strain appear all around them. They throw all their energies into prolonging life. They're unhealthy, but demand that the sick be healed. They admit living is misery, but insist nobody should die. They see the strain on resources, but insist on rationing supply rather than demand. That's very contradictory. It is, in a way. Some people suggest that this quite fundamental idea was the problem, the sort of compassion without rationality. They didn't just criticize it as short-termist and stupid, however. They believed it had sociopathologic foundation. Go on. They said that humans and societies became conscious of that society's needs, but at the expense of their personal ones. A man on his own, keenly aware of his well-being, a man in a balanced society, is conscious of both his own and the needs of those around him. But a man living among an inconceivably large number of other men ceases to become an individual at all. He's contorted into a cell, part of a mass. He enters a primeval state where all of his behaviors and thoughts instead favor the mass. His concern for others is only the most expendant way of taking care of himself, hence the obsession with the sanctity of life. That's all well and good, but how does all that theorizing offer any kind of solution? At its root, the sanctity of life emerges due to people's pathological fear of death. A civilization which glorified death, which exalted it as noble, honorable, magnificent through art or stories perhaps, will become immune to the idea of sanctity of life, and thus the mass that thinks is one. I see. No more theories. You know, Casper, I remember you. Remember me? Why would you forget? I mean, before we even had set out in the rains, we were in the same children's facility. Did you know that? Did you remember me from back then? Vaguely. Even then, I was only 4 or 5 and you're twice my age. There were hundreds of us, but I noticed you. Why? There's something special about you. I felt special. I was special. How so? I don't know exactly. Oh, I am what I am. You certainly are, aren't I? Alright. Let's go back here. And let's get those radical designers. And let's give them... psychic wound theory. Subvert them, perhaps? Would that work? Let's try it. Oh, we have to pick somebody. Mons, go. Can change anything meaningful. Okay, we'll get him next time, Tiger. Next time, another 10 years. Damn it. Biomass. Is that different? Humanity has become its own parasite, huh? That's different. I don't remember this biomass before. What is this? Abundant in number, diminished in spirit, humanity has become its own parasite, and their Orlean principles echo faint and hollow. The systems which created such abundance are strained and plundered, creating more difficult conditions. Such a gigantic mass is easy to control, but those who control it seem to lack purpose and vision themselves. Nothing can be heard above the incessant, pointless noise of what life has become. Can we do anything here? The masses. Can we subvert the masses? Psychic wound theory? I just have a lot of faith in psychic wound theory. I don't know why. Or maybe with the drug lab, drug them all into a different state of mind? Let's give it a shot. Yes. Couldn't change anything meaningfully enough. It's hard to change things in society, especially one like that. Everything is robust. Systems fund systems. Didn't learn much that was... oh, well, I didn't learn much that was new. Maybe a few things. Go on. First, I think what has happened beyond the bunker is that the natural world developed pathogens against humans. How do you know this? There were early signs of it in particularly dense parts of the world. Plants developing pollens which caused severe disease in people, roots which left poisons within the water table, even a few parasites which thrived despite being deadly to humans. Some thought that this was a result of humans having poisoned the natural world for so long. Others felt it was an evolved defense, since these plants flourished when humans fled their vicinities. Interesting. I suppose there's nothing we can really change here, though. What else? Decline has too much momentum in this era, but I think I know how we might change things if we visit a time a little before it. I'm listening. The society was Neuralian in name only, and even then it regarded Neuralianism as tried philosophy, one that had run its course somewhat. Other ideologies were discussed then. If one of us is determined enough, or has some strong representation of another philosophy, they might be able to go back and reinvigorate society with a new set of values. I think the world in this timeline needs something more than just new values. I agree, but believe me when I tell you that an overpopulated world with this much momentum will be very difficult to alter. What's funny? I don't know. Everything. I think you're the only person in all of this who can't see how absurd the whole situation is. I can see it. Our strange existences all enthralled to a 17-year-old who hasn't ventured outside of a small bunker near... I'm 17? You're not doing this for me, you're doing it for Semanji, or for Semanity, for humanity. I started reading that one. Yes, it's strange. I was outside for long enough. Yeah, it's strange. Whenever I go, I forget how purposeful you are. The intensity of your eyes, the power in your voice, it's difficult to imagine without being in its presence. I want to ask you something, and I don't expect an answer. I don't need one. Go on. Are you trying to find a future for the world, or merely for yourself? Ooh. It's a little both. But mostly for myself, I guess. I mean, it does sound like we kind of want to find a world where we can live in. I don't know if we're really in it for the world. Myself. Well, I suppose we owe you that, since you've already given us so many features. Oopsies. Alright. Well, you think we can do something here, right? If we give them a purpose. But what? Something to distract them. mean, I feel like I hear things about, like, the Earth, like, kind of, you know, dealing with overpopulation, like, you know, like, recently there's the problem of, like, I don't know if it's really a big problem, though, where it's, like, some people are complaining that there's not enough babies being born and stuff, but is it, like, is it more, like, just nature trying to correct itself, or is it because everything's awful? You know? And there was, like, COVID and stuff, and that wiped out a bunch of people. Is that also the Earth trying to correct itself? You know? Who knows? We, like, I feel like this is influential. I don't know. I don't know. It's just something I have. Would that be able to help? What if we subvert narrowisms with psychic wound theory? We'll send Mons. I used what you sent me back with to stir people's spirits and remind them that there was more to life than this. It took a few years, and there was a lot of resistance. We did something. But I managed to convince enough people to strive for something beyond the world that was. Ooh. From what we heard on the radio, it seemed like there were people out there who are somewhat insane and desperately struggling. A few elites pretending to be still being in control, going through the motions, oblivious to reality. A bureaucracy. I'm not surprised that they're the only thing that has survived. What do you think happened between the time you visited and now? I don't know. Perhaps a revolution, perhaps humanity decided to go into space, perhaps another war? Yeah. The unknown, huh? What are we in? The only system which thrives is the bureaucratic machine required to keep billions in some kind of order. Disease, starvation, and war spread as the first ships leave the planet. But the populace's main concern is this diversion of resources to this new endeavor. As billions argue over who will leave and avoid certain death on this planet, there are no more ships, no more solutions. Well, at least there's not poison in the air, right? Let's see what happens if we send someone here. Let's send Jag. Find out some things for us, Jag. Jag is docile. But why? How'd it go? It was strange. I'm starting to realize that people don't understand how fragile everything around them is, even as it's as close to disappearing completely. Oh boy, that's a lot. Tell me about pre-smothering investigations. It's been so long that very little was left undestroyed. There are ample rewards for anything found, however, so people who had kept pre-smothering artifacts hidden came forward, and there was dedicated attempts to seek anything out. Wait. So, should we show them our smothering newspapers? Because of all this, a few things did emerge. I did my best to find all I could as well, and eventually managed to recover the information needed to travel to a time before the smothering. Oh, really? Tell me about the space venture. It took a colossal effort from a lot of people, not least because there was resistance at every stage. The technology was brute forced as a matter of urgency, with no respect for safety, and many risks taken. It was only the genius of Firmano and the recovery of certain pre-smothering engineering principles that enabled this development. And even then, we were still not sure how ships survived. Life back then? Very difficult. Food and water supplies had deteriorated, and it was hard to find space. People in cities lived in cramped communes, while those outside cities struggled to raise resources from populated land and air. Survival was always most prominent in people's minds. Living was drab. Back then? There was a strange contradiction, aimless, sad, empty, and yet constantly active, talking and moving. Even though many opposed society's new purpose of space travel, I think it had given them some unconscious sense that development and progression was possible again. Of course, everyone's had different ideas of how things should progress. I'll be honest with you, Casper. I don't think I'm going to make it back if you send me off again. Why? Look at me. I'm old. I mean, you are 69. I can barely handle the damp cold of the bunker anymore, let alone the chaos and troubles of the past. What would you like to do? There are only a few things left for me now, leaving the bunker into the new world or being sank back into the old. Since I'm not really any use for the future anymore, I wanted to ask you if you'd send me back somewhere nice, somewhere peaceful, where I could live simply, happily. You're gonna live in the new world, Jag. You're exactly what it needs. Don't give up, Jag. You've got plenty more in you. I love you, Jag. If that's what you want to do, I'll do it. Man, I don't want to lose him. But that is rather selfish of me. While I'm sitting back in this bunker bumper. And this bunker is like a, what, 16, 17-year-old. They're all risking their lives. If that's what you want, I'll do it. Thank you, Casper. I love you too. I love you too, man. Alright. So where... Oh god, you said so many words I forgot what was happening. Where did you say something could change? Pre-smothering artifact hidden came forward. Wait, I have this sign. Would this be better before the smothering? Would it be happy? I don't know. Send Ola. So much to tell you, Casper. Even though I was only there for 10 years, I still can't make the most of it. Start from the beginning. Well, the beginning, I suppose, happened long before the period I visited. A terrible war. Then a long period of people picking up the scraps. But during the decade I was there, things changed a lot. It was a chaotic world where everybody was following completely different paths, lifestyles, ideas. The Veterus, Patulans, Lavanderists, Bergamus, so many. There were changes though. As things began to grow and people ended up coming together more for trade to build, there was more structure and organization. And then suddenly it seemed like everything went wrong. I want to know about these philosophies. Oh my god. The Rosins. Oh good god. Weren't really a group in any sense. They had no structure, acted as individuals. They're dedicated to making the world aesthetically and sonically beautiful and stimulating, often to the extent of sacrificing all other things. They roam mostly building structures, making art, performing music. They asked for nothing, believed beauty to be an end unto itself, though knowing this, many were generous towards them. Due to their fanatical obsession with beauty, they were the cause of many problems. They killed each other, often over disputes, desecrated each other's work and even their own. Sometimes they killed for impetuous reasons, such as not seeing the value of their work. Because art is eternal, they had no fear of death, and they destroyed the things they believed to be ugly, and often ran into issues with other groups. Fascinating. Bergism. Aimed to understand as much as he could about the human mind. At times their understanding was quite esoteric. Some believed in magic, for example. Mostly they were pragmatic, though they did seem to mostly agree that man by nature is a religious animal. Many were quite wary of them, believing they had ulterior motives. Though Bergamists were still responsible for recording a lot of internal information about other philosophies such as Rosins or Lavanderists, which would have gone largely unknown and been lost if they were not for them. Pachaluchans, or whatever. Pachoanism was kind of spiritual, emotional, primal worship, or perhaps faith. It was deeply fatalistic, complex, and some would say chaotic. They had a pantheon of gods, each person assigned one according to birth date, birth location, sometimes parents. Though as with all things Pachoalism, it was vague and subject to change. It was each Pacholism's personal task to understand and alter their perception of their god through reality, and consultants took the forms of various nightly rituals. Their ability to interpret anything as signal, coupled with a sense of righteous justification for any action that comes from devout faith, made them extremely unpredictable and disruptive. Lavanderism. Lavanderism was about the pursuit of sensual pleasure. They believed in the absolute supremacy of physical experience over knowledge, memory, even communication. Spent most of their lives trying to forget language itself, believing it to be a lie. Many were nudists. Some say that they were an offshoot of the Neuralians, believing them misguided in their concept of purity. Others say Neuralians were the ones who split off, believing Lavanderists to be purposeless obsessives. Over time, their philosophy became a strange combination of ritualistic concepts and unbridled pleasure-seeking. I see. Seems like things were getting freaky back then. Let's take a quick look at Neuralianism, because we kind of know a lot about them already. Oh, wait, but this is before the smothering. White were respected amongst all the groups for their honesty, directness, and competence. Their philosophy obviously emerged as a reaction to the messiness of war. I was told that many of their early members were veterans who had been particularly affected by it. They sought purity from simpleness, and almost all their members became talented artisans of some kind because of their single-minded dedication. Their cuisines, tools, clothes, and other goods were very well liked. No wonder they ended up dominating. Seterism. Odd and duplicatus. This game is really testing my ability to read. It was said that they were at one point a bloodline, though they had become a different sort of dynasty. Still, they were very exclusive and private. Though they were flexible in method yet rigid in purpose, they wanted only power and did whatever was the most expedient to get it. They would pretend to belong to other groups, for example. They were capable of exploiting anyone who wasn't a Seterist, and were fiercely loyal to themselves. They had a deep devotion to the past, particularly their own. Many called them a criminal organization or a cult, a cabal, or some kind of aristocracy. There was perhaps truth and fiction to all those names. Their actions were one of the main causes of the smothering. Interesting. The Anisians. To them, technology was not just a way of making life easier and more full, but an avenue towards transcendence. Anisians felt that technology was the greatest and most direct path to all things. Power, pleasure, and knowledge. They were avid and diligent in retrieving and restoring pre-war technologies. I think a lot of novel technologies had been developed during the war, but in absolute secrecy, so Anisians had plenty to explore. Eventually they became quite influential among the other groups. The Lavanderists turned to them for drugs and pleasure technologies, for instance. The Anisians struggled to keep their own principles intact among so much external interest. But we already know about veterism. Strength of body. I see. Enough of the ideas. Oh my goodness. What did you learn about this war? Nobody really knew much, despite everybody feeling its effects so deeply. Nobody was even sure how long it had lasted, 500 years. There's some pre-smothering writers and historians who thought of it as a simple territorial war of nationalities, races, countries defending their sovereignty, or looking to expand, but according to a lot of accounts, it seems that there were periods and places where that wasn't the case. In some areas, it seemed more like politically motivated civil war. In others, the grievances were religious. There's very likely a huge mercenary element as well. Go on. The farther back you look, the more confusing it comes. Some people even argued that the cause of war was that the world actually lacked definition. That in fact, prior to the war, people had mixed freely, cared little for religion, politics, and ideas. That they had severed their attachments to all things, and that a following generation felt a pathological urge to reestablish such distinctions in the most violent, sudden, and conclusive manner possible. What went wrong during your decade? There were multiple scandals and conflicts that grew in frequency and scale. Murderous disputes among the Rosans, and their willingness to destroy things, for instance. Within the span of 2 years, several major incidents created the feeling of crisis point, which needed to be resolved. The Veterverse takeover of Zudi, the Seterist Eternity scandal, the Sematic disturbance, and the new Camphorists. Tell me about, the new Camphorists. Oh my god. They were small and somewhat secretive. They also had a terrible reputation for being disruptive and troublesome. Many things were said about them, often so contradictory it was obviously false. They made the perfect scapegoats, and there was a loose acknowledgement among some that they were the initiators of the final war. What's certain, however, is that the group calling themselves New Camphorists poisoned the water supply of a Burgonian city, sent versions of highly sophisticated electrical destruction device, which it seemed that they had developed themselves, to various people of other ideologies, then amputated their limbs until they died. The whole episode was so bizarre and shocking that nobody knew what to make of it. That sounds bad. Systematic disturbance? For several days, only a specific region, the sky turned deep red, the air seemed to shake silently as a low, loud sound were passing through it. Electronic devices ceased to work, a few large structures turned to dust. In some spots, gravity weakened to the point where things occasionally floated. The Patrolans claimed that this was a result of their manifestations. Lavanders attempted to recreate it. Bergamist accused the Anisians of irresponsibility using final war technologies, and everyone was afraid of the new conflict would begin. Something about the Seterist Eternity scandal. Seterists, at least a small subgroup of them, claimed wanted eternal life. It was discovered that they had been abducting women and children in order to perform experiments on them. Atrocious things. Gene manipulations, rituals, cannibalism. Seterists were good at manipulating perception and maintaining secrecy. But even after attempting to distance themselves from all this, everybody was still unanimous in their condemnation. the vtuber's takeover. As the population grew, territory disputes became common. Zudi was a city populated mostly by Annians and Neuralisms, but always contained the small yet powerful group, the Veterus. Many of these city-states were beginning to join large coalition. The beginnings of a small government, Zudi being a successful city, was about to join, though the Veterus did not want to, so they essentially seized it violently, forcing inhabitants to live up to their own decrees. This was the sort of thing that happened often, but it was the first great test for the consortium which Zudi had been about to join. If they could not protect their own member cities, their very existence was irrelevant. Oh my god. So all these what about the philosophies? I already looked at those. Cool. So all these philosophies we've discovered came from before the smothering? Yes. I believe things like veterism found a way of surviving the smothering, re-emerging when Neuralian society was weakened. I believe many of them— oh, what the hell is that? In order to provide clear display, the system will start OLED expert function, blah blah blah. I don't know what that means. My computer's doing things. Oh no. Cancel. I believe many of them formed after the war with a sense of constructive positivity. The war had decimated the global population, reducing it to the tiniest fraction of what it had been, from billions to very low millions, perhaps less. Imagine cities that had been teeming with life now carrying just one or two families, traveling for days, weeks without seeking another soul. None of them were confined to a tiny bunker. There weren't toxic rains that tore the flesh off of you. They're surrounded by rubble and rest, but also abundance. Abandoned civilization, wildlife, food growing out everywhere. All this technology just lying around for them to use. No infrastructure, of course, but still no society, also no governments, no law, no police. They had total freedom. Absolute power over themselves. They were like gods. It seems like they lived simply, probably shocked and exhausted from the war still, but they had lots of ideas and means to develop them with new ways of living. There's some indications that certain ideas might have begun during or even before the war. However, some veterism developed from the remnants of a particular army, or that the Citerists had a lineage that went back even further. I've heard enough. Was this, the crisis point for the Neuralian domination afterwards? I suppose all the case induced the concept of the smothering. Was this the crisis point? Yes. Even though the final war had ended over a generation ago, it lingered deep in people's psyches. People were afraid of another vast and senseless conflict, of losing what little they had built. So they gave total control to the Neuralians? The Neuralians had some very charismatic leaders. Pierre Cotty, for instance, the smothering his idea mainly. Neuralians were trustworthy and had contributed the most to rebuilding society, often entire cities from nothing. I think many other groups arrogantly thought that they could survive Neuralian dominance. Others blended Neuralian ideas with their own. We saw that with the vtuber's, for example. Their values of strength as truth were stripped down and refined to their extreme, killing as virtue. Good work. What will you do? This is definitely a critical time. I think we might be able to do something here. Should be able to change the timeline here. What will you do? I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. What will we do? The atrocity, huh? Who's Pircotti? Wait, cancel. You mentioned them. Picotti. Where is it? Where is it? I know you said something about him. You said a lot, though. Well, I think they were a leader. Something. Was it Neuralism? That's just all the theologies. Or the beliefs or whatever. Bum. Where is it? Oh, Pircotti. Very charismatic. But that's just gonna help Neuralism, which is how we got here. I don't know what we have to do here. Because, like, I don't want to help. I don't want to, like, help, Percati, but I also don't want to kill Percati, because this is a very crucial time. Eternal life technology. Library of Moravi. Can we learn from the Library of Moravi? Everyone's so old, though, they're gonna die. Buddha line. Satirists, huh? I feel like they're bad people. So are the Camphorists. They're also bad people. I don't think I can kill them all, though. It'd be hard. Library of Moravi. Can we take something from there? Learn from the Library of Moravi? Let's send Mons. I want to send Jag somewhere nice. As we promised. I'm back. Learn anything new? I definitely think we can change things during this era, but it's tricky figuring out how. You have any ideas? I thought about nothing else for a long time. Go on. It's a very reactionary time. I mean, I realize now more than ever that history is perhaps more about reactions than some sense of linear advancement. Seemed like there were all these new ideas, but really people were fleeing old ones, driven by the fears of the final war. The struggle for compromise, the world's lack of sense or shape compelled them towards ideology and governance. Well, we already know this is utter chaos result from gate smothering, for instance. I understand, but I'm trying to work out how to make the society react in a different way. We know the Neuralians came out on top of after all this. Maybe we can try to cause some reaction against them to guarantee a different outcome. At the time, the few who liked Neuralians thought of them as anti-intellectual destroyers of culture, history, and knowledge. Maybe we can inflame those sentiments into something larger. Still not sure how. Have you looked at Dunn's letters? There's something there I haven't been able to figure out. I'm certain of it. If anyone knows how to change the course of society, it's a satirist, that's for sure. Thanks, Mons. Is that a good idea? Satirists are bad people. Dunn's letters. Sergir, do not waste your efforts. Even wait. Following the selection corresponds between Gurkonk and Dunsilla, during the latter's imprisonment for induction on ethical practices and inhumanity. Given my innocence were proved to the public mass, the public mass have made their judgment. And since I am marked by the vtuberist, this prison is more protection than punishment. I suspect you all realize this, however. Sir Dunn, you suspect me a loyal satirist of duplicity? Have those near walls driven you mad already? We are destroyed, decimated, dissolved. Our perception permanently sullied, our capabilities clipped to nothing. Already the wisest of us makes plans of how we might survive what the Neuralians and vtuberist might bring. Our prudence full of designs for a reduced, subverted existence. It is true what they say of you, that while you may be innocent, it is your attitude which made you a liability. Yes, I suspect you with regards to what might happen to me in the future. As for what has already happened resulting in my imprisonment, I do not merely suspect I am the great Sarah. I am certain that Sarah was behind it. Only satirists would have had the impulse to spread such lies, and the nuance to manipulate the innocent truth of my research into monstrous example of cruelty others now believe it to be. The Neuralians are too honest, the vtuberers too direct. The Bergam is too passive. Only a satirist's hand can the safe retrieval of the blood samples from children, placenta from the recent births, become grotesqueries of torture in the public imagination. Only satirists will be crafty enough to speak of missing vtuberers in the same breath as many volunteer subjects, and let the inclinations of the plebs do the rest. As for why, you answer yourself, we are decimated, you say. Full of designs, my only question is, who among us had no power before, and who of them seizes it now? Oh my, there's a lot of letters. Oh my. Wait, is Cody Moran? Do you think these letters do not have centers? You have the letter now in the final two paragraphs. The first blank, though, is probably too late. Doomed satirism to endure only whatever hollow distortion a crook like Luntin and his clandestine friends may perceive it as. Oh. I did not respond immediately to your last letter because I found it an egregious bunch of values we should hold dear. As Jun says, to fight among one's own is the trait of those with no power. Or too much of it. A bond suspected is bond broken already. Yet recent events brought your indiscretions to mind with violent presence. Do you know of Luntini? He's a satirist. The publicity has though publicly his sympathies are scattered. He's close to Neuralians and even has the ear of Pirkati, whose radical ideas have gained incredible force among the people. Lund claims to be immolating Cody's desire to destroy history, destroy us, but I am starting to believe he is, in fact, encouraging Cody's plan to its extreme for some sort of self-serving anti-satirist end. I dare not speak to anyone but you of this for obvious reasons. A year may seem nothing to you, but within these bare walls as an attorney, consider that and realize what your lack of immediate response truly means. Do you think I have any other to provide me books, word from outside? I've taken up correspondence with Bergamus. That's how your silence allowed me to fall. I ask myself what is more appalling, your sense of friendship or your utter lack of wits. Only now, when the plots have become so fortified and immediate that they clatter against your thick skull, when the future's prison and actions have already become consequence, do you understand what you so crudely chastise me for telling you? Do not call me Sarah. I am no longer a satirist, by their admission or my own. Though do not presume to regard me as Bergamus just yet either. Only give this my last counsel as favor to be returned in the future. Do not kill Pirkati, for he is no longer a mere weed to be removed, and do not kill Lund, for he is obviously a mere element to a greater collective. Lund's intent is obvious, that Cody's idea of culture refreshment go ahead, and that only his particular element of satirism be secured through transition. He fears nothing but other satirists. Cody's idea may excite the mind, but it will frighten the eye. Speaking of which, how keen are yours these days? If you seek my counsel, here it is. Before you do anything, observe, understand the structure of the times in which you live. Read the doctrines carefully. No satirist can survive without them. Learn how to use your enemies as adeptly as your friends. Invite everybody into your home. Bergamus are useful, Rosens too. Inaction is irrelevant without accounting for its perception. Reality itself can be reconfigured in the minds of those willing to perceive it differently. Your weakness may become strength in this way. Beginnings are far more important than any other stage of the thing. Leave others to carry the momentum of which you initiate. All things die. Men's principles are their weakness more than it is their strength. Everyone has their enemies. Politics is legitimized pathology. Impatience destroys. Remember these things and good luck. Is that it? I asked for your counsel and give me platitudes? You sound like a Bergamist already. I apologize for neglecting you, particularly if this is why you seem to have lost your cunning you once had. His code, you moron. You think these letters did not go through censors? You have the letter now, with its final 2 paragraphs. The first blank, though, is probably too late. You have doomed satirism to endure only as whatever hollow distortion a crook like Luntini and his clandestines may perceive it as. Well, it says we can't just kill him, but I'd really like to. We're all about to die soon anyways. Do not kill Pirkati. Do not kill Lund. Element to a greater collective, huh? Line will return. Interesting. Strange set of musical studies conducted by Rosen and Bergamus couple that analyzes the effect of frequencies upon people in the atmosphere. Claims much success in its findings during club night performances. Oh yeah, we had that we had the full realized thing of that later, and it was banned because it was doing too much. Extremely expensive patent-produced proprietary tool used in manufacturing of drugs and plastics. Its ability to modulate chemical reactions allowed the production of a wide variety of consumer products, but But it was highly regulated due to the potentially damaging effects of its powerful oscillator. Oh boy. Who do I kill? Who do I kill to fix all this? Don't kill Prakati. What do we do, though? Can we change his mind somehow? What was the other one? I don't think I see him. Wasn't it Lun or something? Prakati, huh? Who were you? Who are you a part of? Where do you lie? No longer a mere weed to be removed. Cultural refreshment. Here's nothing but other satirists. Can we do something with that? Here's nothing but other satirists. Was this guy a satirist? I don't know. I don't know. I'm too stupid for this. What do I do? What do we have in this era? Library. And a whole lot of religions. And some technology. Let's see. Library of Moravi. Is this like, what was that other library? Was it like the Alexandra Library? Something like that? Wasn't... I know this. It was like a big important library that got burned down and we lost a whole lot of lot of stuff in it. What if we just blow up their library? That'll probably change things. Right? I don't like, because I don't know about all these people, but you blow up a library, you're losing a lot of progress, right? Can we do something with that? I don't know what to do at this point. We're running out of time. Everyone's gonna die soon. Kill the library. Let's just make everybody stupid and maybe it'll be easier to control. Let's send Ulla. Please work. I knew things would change the moment I saw the flames. How'd it go? Quite well. Arson is one of the easiest crimes, and the tensions of the times are so fraught, I barely need to encourage the satirists to seize the opportunity to go on the defensive. The world seems livable. Is it really? Humanity, a society? No, there's no radioactivity. If there is life, it's quite primitive. I don't know. Primitive? Not the world we should settle for. We need to learn more. What happened to the world? Where are we? Oh my gosh. We went on such a different path. Strange violent creatures roam the overgrowth and castle remnants, fighting, mating, and feasting upon each other. Whether they're once human is irrelevant, for there's no trace of it in them anymore, and no possibility for humans to exist amongst us much. Wow, that's not great. Okay, maybe we shouldn't have gotten rid of the library. That really seems to have messed up a whole lot. Excess. It's the rebel finding themselves surrounded by abandoned abundance. The few humans remaining on the planet open up and exert their artistic minds. Well, that sounds kind of nice. Explosion of creativity sounds kind of nice. Let's send Jag to die here. Go learn. Oh wait, no. No wait, no. Yeah. This is right after I blew up the library. Seed new ideology. What's this? Learn? Go learn. Go learn. Oh, he died. Well, I hope he had fun. Alright, Mons, you go learn. You go learn. Oh, she did. Everyone's gonna die. It's okay. You go learn. Oh wait, the library's still here. That's weird. Alright, you can learn here. Go learn. Ah, no, they all died. Shit. All these things must be recorded, remembered, recovered. There is no knowledge but that of the past. Veterans sculpt their minds and bodies to emulate old heroes. Rosans absorb, study, and copy the old masters. Petrolans exclusively reinterpret old doctrines. Ceticism becomes universal value. The Ceters themselves a ruling dynasty. Descendants of great men who vanquished Neuralism. I still don't think that's great. Don't think it's a good thing that we did. We signed ourselves here? Confirm? No, we're just screwed. Well, let's leave the bunker. What type of caveman ooga booga did we create? I mean, maybe it's not all that bad, right? We can work with this. We can salvage this somehow, right? I mean, there's still structures. It's kind of steaming pile of garbage, but we can rebuild. I've played Minecraft. This is totally workable. I mean, a roof over your head is a roof over your head. It'll be okay. What is that? What the hell is that? Oh, it's a bunch of weirdos. I thought it was a tentacle monster. It's just a bunch of weirdos. Oh god, the world fell victim to interpretive dance. Whoa there. Whoa there. YouTube's not gonna like that. Stop whatever you're doing. Doing the splits. That's so weird. They have turned into a complete shadow person. A phantom. A phantom of the night. I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. They made it sound like we're gonna get torn apart by animals, but it seems like we're just gonna die of boredom from having to watch interpretive dance all day. It's not so bad. What is that? Oh, they're kind of getting a little close. It's fine though. They're still grooving. I think that's not so bad. But I think we have to get out of here for now though. So that's all for this playthrough of Decade. I feel like we would have to like play this a lot more times to actually get somewhere with the end of the world being like a livable place, you know? Because I think like there's just so many things to know about this world. Like the world building in this game is insanely big. Like I think like I'd have to probably like maybe hit learn on every single like item in all these lists, and I don't know if like I don't think my guys would live long enough through all that. Like I think I'd have to replay it several times just to gather all the facts and try to figure out like exactly where I need to go. But like I feel like the path I was going on for this one was like it was getting somewhere, you know? Like we got back before the Great Smothering, so I feel like that's good progress, and I think we have to go really far back to make any significant change for the future, you know? So I think the direction we headed in was not that bad. Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's an easier way to solve all of this. It is kind of unfortunate though for all of my like buddies here that they all have to go sacrifice years of their life, and I'm still kind of just chilling in a bunker. I mean, like years are like going past for each of them, and like for me it's still just the present day, right? Like because they have to travel back and then travel forward, so I'm just kind of sitting here like only a couple moments have passed, but these guys are going through it. They're like experience all these different tragedies and whatever else. So I can't imagine even if we found a way to save the world, like unless if we do it when they're all like still either children or like in teens, young adult age, like I can't imagine it's gonna be worth it once they pass that point, you know? Like I feel like they're kind of right in that it would kind of be better to just send them to an era that was more happy, and then I don't know, maybe I just go and die in this bunker or something. I mean, it seems like we have a lot to be guilty for too. That's another thing. We have a lot of weird things going on with ourselves, that we're like a killer and all this stuff. So I don't know about us. We seem to be a sketchy individual in our own right. But that's all for this one, so let me know what you think of the game down in the comments below, and I will see you for the rest of the Choose Wisely Festival. I mean, I have so many games. They have so many games that they like gave me codes for and stuff, and are like, and all of them, like even the demos that I got, like they all have like a billion different endings, so we're not going to be able to finish like all these games, unfortunately, but I do still want to like introduce you to a lot of them because I think there's a lot of really cool ones in there. And I think like leaving some routes open for you to discover is good for these kind of games, you know? You want to have something that you can discover for yourself. And with that in mind, if you like this game, it is available on Steam right now. You can get it as a demo or you can buy the full thing. And it's, I don't know, it's really cool. I'm interested in seeing if there is actually a way to save the world, you know? But I will let you find that out for yourselves. So let me know what you think of the game down in the comments below, and I will see you later. This is Casper Kuma, over and out.